Okay, Zassu's Tafadishi, and welcome to another vlog. And I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this. There's a slew of random topics I'd like to talk about. But first off, I'm going to say I'm sorry I didn't get any videos up yesterday. I'm now working every day this week at 5 a.m. in the morning, and before that I got 2 hours of sleep. So I went to work, came home, slept, went to work again, came home, slept, and then when I woke up it was time to go to work again. So all I did yesterday was work and sleep. So I didn't have any time to get a video up. So hopefully I'm going to get a bunch for you guys today. And with that being said, I just would like to say that I'm not going to directly respond to Rommel in this vlog. We're gonna hash it out via Steam or our microphone chat, because at that point, if I respond, then he responds, and it just becomes this horrible clusterfuck already that it's become, and I'm not gonna drag you guys into this anymore. So, but I like to briefly touch on one thing he said, something about like how if you learn who your heroes truly are, then you can no longer admire them, something like that. And that got me thinking of the two really big traits that I admire in a person, and I think that these are huge, very huge. And this may sound really weird coming from a guy named Joseph Stalin, but I was thinking about this at work, and I realized that probably more people in the world know me as Joseph Stalin than by my real name, which I don't know how to think that. But back on track, the two things I admire most in a person are caring and empathy. And like I said, that probably sounds weird coming from a guy named Joseph Stalin, because I believe that if everyone had a little bit of caring and a little bit of empathy, especially those in the higher echelons and who are running society, then we would never have any kind of corrupt society or corrupt officials, because at that point they're empathetic to people who are, you know, middle class, lower class, and everywhere in between. At that point they're not trying to screw people over and trying to benefit themselves. If everyone is empathetic for the person that they're screwing over, then they're not going to, and at that point a government isn't corrupt and it runs very efficiently and very smoothly. I admire Stalin because of what he did and how he pulled what he did off in a very, very difficult situation, in a very, very tight situation. And I don't believe that for a second that anyone could have done a better job than he did, given the circumstances he had. But if our higher echelons in society had caring and had empathy, then that situation never would have occurred to begin with. So I was thinking about this during work again, that if you have someone at the top of your society, if you have someone who creates the roots of your society, and that person is a corrupt and he is a selfish person, then that's going to breed a bad structure. It's going to breed a corrupt structure. It's going to breed an inefficient structure for this society, and that society is going to breed corruption. It's going to breed greed. It's going to breed all these bad things. But if you have someone at the top who is both caring and both empathetic, that's going to create a solid structure and solid roots for this governmental system, and that's going to produce better people and a better society in general. And that's what I think. That's probably why I'm a very idealist communist, because I think that if everyone had that caring and that empathy, and they realized that if they benefited other people, they're benefiting themselves as well. And I think if people realized that, if people had that kind of human cognitive mindset, at that point our society is a far better place. And that's what I think is really the fundamental. Like, when you boil, if you take everything out of communism, if you take away the proletariat dictatorship, the bourgeoisie, all those fancy terms, all those fancy ideological theories, if you boil it down, and at its root, I think communism is you better yourself and you better everybody else in society. And that is what it is at its root, and that's why I'm a very idealistic communist. So I guess that's kind of my thoughts on I guess some of my very deep thoughts that I've been having recently. But another thing I've been thinking about recently was, speaking of politics and speaking of politicians in general, what really grinds my balls, I guess would be the best way to say this, is when politicians take issues people feel very emotionally about, that people feel very strongly about, such as gay marriage, such as abortion, such as all these big social issues, and then they take like a stance on that, and then they vocalize a stance and sort of slander the other party for, let's say, the Republicans are against gay marriage, and they slander the other party for that. And then there's people who feel very strongly about gay marriage, and then they go and they vote for that party based only on how they feel about that social issue, which is generally irrelevant. Who gives a crap if gays get married? It's not going to change my life. Who gives a crap if people can't have abortions? It's not going to change my life. At that point you shouldn't care. There are far bigger and more expansive issues you should be looking at when you are choosing who you're going to vote for. You should be looking at their stance on healthcare. You should be looking at their stance on the education system. You should be looking at their stance on the economy, on national defense. All these things that are far more bigger and far more important than whether or not they care that gays get married. And it just drives me nuts that politicians use that emotion to cloud people's judgments and shoehorn them away from the really big issues. So I don't know. What I think should happen was we should just have a referendum, a whole nationwide referendum on whether or not gays can get married or whether or not people can have abortions, and then everybody in the world, or not in the world, everyone in the country votes. Then that's the issue, that's the stance that every party takes, because that's what the majority wants. And then at that point, people's judgments can stop being clouded by stupid things and can be focused more on the things that really matter in life, not issues that are never going to affect their lives. Also, I'd like to say one thing on gays. And I was really against gay people for a very long time. Then I kind of came out with this recently, that I realized that if every man in the world is gay except me, that means that I can have every single chick in the world. And at that point I realized the more people that are gay, that means the more options in terms of women are open for me. And then at that point I'm like, hey, have as many gay people as you want. That means there's more chicks for me. So anyway, that's my new stance on being gay. But I should also tell you, me and a couple friends we're creating our own political party, and I'm hoping you guys will support us on this campaign. Our party is called the National Bureaucratic Party, and what our party slogan, our party model is our ideology is neo-bureaucratism, and our motto is "In the incompetent we trust." So I'm gonna read you guys our platform, and I'm hoping that after reading our platform you'll be swayed and join up arms for the National Bureaucratic Party. Anyway, our platform includes the expansion of the Canadian postal system, monthly referendums on all issues, the increased amount of snap elections, increase tenfold the amount of elected officials, protection of corrupt and incapable officials, general disruption of efficiency, increasing taxes and tax rebates for all, opposing common sense, the forging of the national census, increased hospital wait times, and measuring time in metric units. We're expanding our platform as we go along, but these are the general ideas of the National Bureaucratic Party, and I really want to actually, because you can create any kind of political party you want, basically. I mean, in my riding or whatever, there's the marijuana party. So we're really trying to push and make this like a party that you can put on the ballot and vote for, and have us standing in at the next election debates, which is going to be in a while. So we've got 4 years to do this, but this is what we're trying to do, trying to create our own National Bureaucratic Party, and I hope you guys will support us in our endeavors. But that's it for my rambling thoughts for now. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Joseph Stalin signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.